Good evening, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Wednesday night evening webcast. Let's talk about a couple of things. Right now, I'm doing this at about 10:40. I'm getting out a little late. Right now, we're kind of having a battle over the weekly pivot. I'm going to show you a short-term chart in a minute, but let's zoom out. As we mentioned this morning, this is the chart from this morning, from the morning webcast. The band ride has ended. The Bears formally won the mid-band. We trade down, we do a secondary band ride. Band ride ends with yesterday's big up day. Bears spend the day pushing back, and you can see a little more pushback in the overnight. So what I'm seeing now, for the first time in a very long time, is you're seeing the potential for more of a sideways tilt to down market. Not a down trending market on the longer term, but something that's much more two-sided, that is more slanted to the downside. Because what you've seen in the last 24 to 36 hours is you've seen what would be best characterized as a bear market rally. You saw it fail right at 50, 51, 54 in the area of the monthly pivot. You saw it not engage the daily mid-band, and now you're seeing a pushback. If you see a lower low, if you see a violation of the 100-day exponential moving average, remember we talked last night, you zoom out on this chart, and the pullback from the new all-time high is nothing more than a trip to test the 100-day exponential moving average. Let me get back on the chart we were looking at last night. Get some of the clutter out of there. Nothing more than a move from the all-time high to test the 100-day. We're seeing a bounce. They're trying to create a lower high at the monthly pivot. If you get a lower low now, and that's a big if, considering we're 25 handles above the area of the low and 20 handles above the area of the 100-day. It's a big if. But if you do get a lower low, then for the first time, if it's sustainable, for the first time in over a year, you would have legitimate trading at below the 100-day exponential moving average. That is a sideways to down market. Okay. Okay, hourly chart. Daily mid-band is up here. We've talked about this the last few times. You had the potential double bottom at 19, spikes down to 15, a couple of higher lows. They blow the weekly pivot test yesterday. But what do you get here? You get monthly pivot resistance. And you get a day of lower highs and lower lows. If, another big if, there's that word again, if the Bears can convert the weekly pivot tonight and into tomorrow morning and break the Globex low down at 35.25, they have the potential to run it back to this 20, call it 29 area that was support at the hourly mid-band pre-market on Tuesday to retest that entire area. So I would expect tonight, for the rest of the night into the Europe session, that they battle it out over weekly pivot. Chances are it's going to be pretty choppy. That's not surprising at all. So be prepared for that. The way we're dealing with it right now is we've got an aggressive short against this area just because it looks like it wants to be potentially a lower high. And if you get a lower low, I would rather, if I'm going to lose money tonight, it's going to be playing for a short after a day of lower highs and lower lows and a possibility of converting weekly pivot for another move down. So that's how we're handling it tonight. We could be dead wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, but that's how we're dealing with it. In the little 30, 45-second blurb I did on Twitter and Instagram just before the Globex Open, I talked about how you've got monthly pivot on the up, 51 and change, weekly pivot on the down. So right now we're trying to break down below that range and establish the bottom of that range as resistance, that's the gateway to lower prices. The way that plays out big picture is you get some of that over the course of the next 2-3 sessions, you're going to be dealing with the 100-day exponential moving average again. And that's going to be 2 quick tests of the 100-day exponential. Down there, that's a battle. If it comes back to retest right away, that's a battle that the bulls must win. And we haven't really seen the bulls in a must-win situation since election night. That puts them in a must-win situation. If the bears can break that and create a lower low and break 15, it opens up a move back to 2402, back from June the 29th, and a test of the big roundy at 2400, and then you have the potential for lower prices. If you're the bulls, you want to get back over weekly pivot, get back over daily midband, and then go ahead and make another higher high over 2488.5. All that's in play. So I wanted to do an evening webcast tonight because we're seeing short-term trading around long-term inflection points, and we're seeing little hints of potential character change in the market, and those potential changes have to be taken seriously. All right, everybody have a fantastic night. We'll be out with the morning webcast, and we'll take it from there. Trade them well.